Hi there, people. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. No fragrance review today, but I did one basically. Dior Sauvage very cool spray. You can watch that. And I just always forget to say one thing. Please do subscribe to my channel if you do watch and do like my content. If you do not like, don't need to subscribe. You can just walk away. It's fine. But YouTube has this weird way of I don't know, the algorithm is kind of like messed up, but if you actually subscribe and then put that bell icon, click on it. I don't like saying these things because I don't make any money from YouTube, but I feel if I do content and if people do watch, I feel good. My content, my work, basically, it goes to people, and people, if they don't watch, there's no point doing this, right? So we all try to transport or transfer the message, whatever we feel, share our experience, sentiments. So do that if possible. It will be huge favor. Another thing is I do have a couple of groups. One is Fragcomm Bangladesh, which is my discussion board or panel wherever we discuss scent of the day, new release, reviews. We have a Decant page for Bangladeshi members only, Goodfellas Fragrance Bangladesh. You can join that if you're from Bangladesh. You can collect decants from me to try. And then I also have a marketplace for Bangladeshis again only if you want to trade or sell or swap your fragrances from your personal collection. So do that. I always leave the links below in the description. You can check. So today's episode, I decided not to do too many topics. I just want to do two topics. One update about me. Another one is discussion on why people perhaps like to buy clones or cheaper fragrances, both clones and cheaper fragrances, both. But the first topic I want to just take away, like you've been noticing last like 2 months, this month and last month, sort of like I reduced the number of reviews. Yeah, there was an obvious reason I was not well, but I thought of like what is the reason I'm always not well. One thing definitely is Bangladesh weathers don't help. We have highly polluted weathers. We have smoke, we have dust, we have corona flying around just like rest of the world. And also we have like basically like humidity basically doesn't help us. When you are sweating a lot, we put a little bit too much effort. Even to do reviews, I used to do like 5-6 reviews per day, like on steroids. I actually absolutely enjoyed it, but later on it kind of took toll on me. Doing too many reviews. I have like a lot of reviews to people think like someone asked me, did I run out of content? I do have many samples. These are like Papillon fragrances. I have many other bottles of my brother's, but I just did not feel like doing too many reviews lately. Just sharing two things. I'm going to share a couple of things if you actually part of my family, so it's just for you. The reason being I got kind of fed up and kind of like what's that word, I felt like, like not bored, like I kind of, the energy ran out, sort of. I cannot remember the word I'm looking for, but it got to me. So apart from physical unwellness, I was always tired, feel like sleeping, also financial crisis a little bit because economy is not good. So page is not doing so good. My Decant page didn't do so good as I expected. I had to tackle a lot of people, and then, talking to a lot of people, it drains your energy. So kind of like, what's that word I'm looking for? It's annoying when you cannot remember. But the whole thing, like got me tired inside out. I got burned out, and I sort of bought many fragrances. Like I did reviews, but then I realized that I should not buy like all the time. Shouldn't spend all the money on fragrances. So last 15 days or so of last month, I kind of reduced the buying, and I ended up buying about 16, 17, 18 fragrances that month. But I decided not to buy that frequently or impulse buying. The reason is like, oh, the word is fatigue. I got into that fatigue. That's I couldn't remember. So I decided to buy less fragrances, the ones I really want. Like for example, Dior Sauvage Cool Spray was on my list for a very long time. I was halfway. Should I buy this or don't buy it? And I ended up buying it because if you overthink, you are you're just like you're just a-hole. You're just torturing yourself. So if you either want to buy it or don't buy it. Do not be like confused. But impulse buying, like I bought a lot of cheaper fragrances just to do reviews, give you content, then I gave away or to sell it very cheaply. It hurt me, when I do that and I do not get appreciated for, or it doesn't really have that impact. I feel sad. So yeah, I'm just human. We're full of errors, and I don't pretend that I'm a nice guy all the time. Even in the comment section, I go fight with people at times when I see people do unfair things. A few days back I did with one guy. He's just like, I saw his comments, all 3 comments he did over 2017, 18, 19, 20, and always negative comments. Like they have nothing to say. Whatever you do, even if you cut your heart out and just present it, and you're like, they're gonna say, oh, this is not this doesn't have enough salt. So these kind of people are there, mama's boys, sitting and then type keyboard warriors. But then, when you're frustrated, these things get to you. Usually I don't let people get to me, but then it got to me, right? So I decided to give myself more time, which you all should do. Do not just do this craziness addictive thing, always going to shops after perfumes, go to shop after shop, what to buy next, and then waiting for your sales if you're decanting. The whole process kind of like gets you into this trap. Okay, so I decided to play relaxing, like just relax, walk, enjoy the winter, enjoy food, buy other stuff, like order food, sleep, watch games. So that's what happened. So I decided, like not maybe perhaps every day I'll do reviews when I feel like I really want to, not out of force or out of I have to, right? So you get the idea. So even if you're reviewing, this could help you, like do not burn yourself out. Perhaps just enjoy the game. If you do not enjoy the game, do not do it, take a break, okay? That's the best thing I can tell you, okay, for reviews. So second thing, let's talk about this interesting topic that I thought of a few days back while I was walking in the rooftop for an hour. Very nice cold weather, so like not really cold, but it's like 23, 24, pleasant. So then nice thoughts come to you, you start thinking about random stuff. Then I start thinking, like a few days back I met one guy. This guy is a big tycoon, like a big short guy, and we actually thought of like a business idea. I didn't agree, still thinking of it, harvesting in my head. But then he's a big short guy, so he was interested in investing, or like let's say we thought about like a business project. So he's a fragrance lover and he's a follower of mine. Very nice guy, very nice guy. So we had it sit up, and then discussed a business venture. Then I decided not to go for it yet because my own fragrance line, I'm not ready for it. I'm not capable enough, or I'm not experienced enough to get into that. I don't want to do something I don't have any control of. If I do a fragrance, I have to know what I'm making. If someone just make Club Dino Intense Pen another bottle, that's not gonna be my fragrance. Okay, so that's what I do not feel I can tell you to recommend to you, right? But he told me one thing while we were discussing just lightly. He used to have huge niche collection. And I'm like, that's admirable. Creed, Amouage, Penhaligon's, he had huge collection. Still has. But then he said, over a year back, I decided not to spend so much money on expensive fragrances, even high-end designer or niche. Then I asked why. Then he said, like a lot of fragrances, I'll just tell you because I'm a businessman. I'm quoting him. He said, I'm a businessman. And then, I have so many places that I have to rotate my money or channel my money. I have family to feed. I have pets. I have drivers. I have people working for me. I have other things to invest in. So I decided, every month if I spend a few $1,000s in fragrances, they do basically the same thing if you talk about practicality as other fragrances. Like if you talk about practicality, wearability, or a realistic approach. Like let's say you have pack of bread, okay? It doesn't matter if it's some secret recipe or your local vendor or anywhere. If the bread is bread, right? If you eat, it fills you up, put some butter and then jam, eat it, right? But if you really think like you're that niche guy, you're really into this, you invest thousands of dollars, and you don't mind because you have that extra cash, okay? And you also are very passionate collector, okay? In that way, it's all good. Some people buy, expensive Rolexes cost more than cars, So a few days back, I ended up buying like this one. It's a kind of like not a replica. It's like an inspired. What do you call this? Like Invicta. Some of this inspired. I forgot that term exactly, but this kind of make like cheaper version knockoffs of like original, but it doesn't say Rolex. It's some other company. Okay, so these are like how much? I think 10, $20, $20 or something. And I saw it, I didn't know what to expect, but when I bought this, like I'll just give you an example side by side just to make this discussion worthy. So I do have another one. You guys always watch me wearing this. This is Seiko, I think Seiko 5 Sport. This is inspiration by, I think, like one of the Rolex watches. I think there was a time I was really into watches. I was watching a lot of watch review and everything. I wanted to get in there, but it's very expensive game. I decided not to invest. I have kind of like few watches that I like. I like different kind of watches, like what recent times just sharing with you, like just for walking and stuff, like this kind of watches and stuff. So the difference between this and this, like Seiko and this, they are basically both inspired by the same Rolex company, but this is actually a legit product from Seiko. You guys know Seiko is a real product. So this is not very expensive, but not very cheap compared to what I'm wearing here. I just wanted to just see what I get from the $20 versus say $200. There's a difference. So when I'm wearing this, I know what I got. It's very light, This watch is very light. It's good for casual use. I just go out, just go for tea or something nearby area. It's nice, it serves the same purpose. It gives the time. It has the hands, and it does run on battery. And you change battery, it works. It gives you time. The best big purpose is to show time. But the watch enthusiast, why do you buy a Rolex? Why do you buy like a Submariner? Okay, why do you buy like Oyster Perpetual? I'm trying to remember the big names, but I'm not like a watch guy, but I do like. But then reality, if you buy a Rolex, you do not buy a Rolex to just see time. You buy it for prestige. You buy it because it perhaps is a limited edition that you own, maybe the 6 piece only in the world, and you are one of the owners. Or you are wearing this for the love of the mechanism or the stuff they do. Rolex is expensive for a reason, not just because it's a Rolex brand. They have been in the market. Rolex became a brand after many years of hard work and everything. The same goes for Maserati or Jaguar cars. So these are like high-end and meant for rich people. So I realized one thing: I cannot afford a Rolex. I just tell you frankly, if I sell all my fragrance, even then I cannot perhaps afford one. Perhaps I can, I don't know, but basic one. But for me, it's not practical. You should always invest, or you should always try to live a life standard based on your income level or how much you can afford. If you are middle class, you're middle class. You're happy. Be happy with it, but do not approach like I see many people drive a nice car, they have a nice watch, but they have no food at home. That's very sad. So if you cannot afford good food, if you do not have good groceries at home, if you don't have chocolates to cheer you up at home, what's the purpose of having a Rolex in your hand and sleep with it like, oh my god, I own a Rolex, and you die with it? It's just a watch. End of the day, it's just a watch. In one angle, it's just a watch. If you die, it just gives you just that pleasure of wearing, and then you enjoy it. That's about it. So the thing is, why people buy cheap fragrances. So coming back to the point, the cheap fragrances, basically when you buy a clone, let's say, talk about clones. Let's say you buy Club Dino Intense Man or Afnan Supremacy, not only Intense, I have it somewhere there, but too far. Basically, in the air, if you ask a person who's wearing Aventus or the one who's wearing Supremacy, not only Intense, normal people will tell you, hey, they're both the same perfume, okay? So you feel a bit disappointed. One guy spend like $450, other guy spend like $50. And basically they're getting the same compliments. Perhaps the Aventus guy got no compliments. And it will make you sad. Most of the time, it will make you sad. So reality, practicality wise, I really feel people opt for it because one thing is affordable. People want a taste of the real deal. Like I want a taste of, let's say, Rolex. So I got this, it looks kind of okay, not bad. But when you wear it, it's kind of like light. You can tell, like if you bought like Orient or something like a Bambino, like I have, today I'm showing something, not much of a show off, but then, these are like affordable watches, but really nice, okay? I bought this from one of my friends. This is a Bambino. If those who are watch enthusiasts, this is the rose gold and the gray, I don't know what color is that, I forgot. So I do have those watches. They have kind of like weight and the real brands. But then, just for fun, I wanted green dial. Okay, so I got this one. I'm happy with what I paid, $20. What I got, it's got good value. Okay, but if you're expecting a Rolex for $20, hey, it's not heavy enough. Hey, it doesn't have those sounds that you want to hear. Not gonna happen. Be realistic and be mindful of what you're getting versus what you have actually to spend. So I'm very happy. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Okay, so that's why some people use clones. Why some people use cheaper fragrances, not upgrade like many people say, hey, upgrade to Roja Dove, upgrade to Dior's Privé collection. Some people do not do it. Why? They have the money. But to them it's not practical. For them, they don't have the space in the life to enjoy that game so severely. They have like maybe cigar, they have like expensive scotch, they have a nice Mercedes or a Maybach or something like it. So they're into different games. They're going to playing golf and stuff. So rich people, they have like, they have their hobbies. So they have perhaps other hobbies. So for them, it's like Polo Blue. It's an ideal fragrance because they love it. So what you love, there's no price tag on it. That's another thing. If you do love Polo Blue, you love Polo Blue. Nothing beats that fragrance, bro. I mean, there are more expensive fragrances, but nothing does what Polo Blue does for you. Since your university days, you love Polo Blue, right? So you understand what I'm trying to say. So the thing is, this is why, like, do not judge a person. I say humbly request, don't tell people to upgrade a fragrance. You have a blue fragrance, you're using Azaro something, Chrome Sport, upgrade to like Dior Sauvage. He cannot afford Dior Sauvage. He doesn't want to upgrade to Dior Sauvage. For him, this thing doesn't make any sense. Why? Because it's a waste for him. Basically, what Azura Chrome Sport does, Versace does, Dior Sauvage does the same thing. So why spend more, right? So this is why I really feel people should enjoy what they can afford, what they want to buy, and what they want to enjoy, not public force or pressure, peer pressure, like, hey, your fragrance smells a little bit synthetic, and you go like, oh no, I'm not acceptable in this office. Everybody's wearing Bleu de Chanel, Aventus, and then you go like, you feel like inferiority complex, so I feel, like everybody has to be in that happiness zone, not just, some people I really feel Aventus fanboys, they are kind of like the same way other niche groups, like they don't want people to get into their territory because they are rich. Imagine some guy, like who owns a 300 cars or 200 cars. He lives in a castle. He doesn't want another guy to smell like him. Trust me, if he's not a nice guy, usually rich people, when they are like, like, oh, this is generalized, this is not true, many rich people are nice, but when you see you're driving, let's say, here's an example, you driving your latest Mercedes, or like, okay, and it goes like up to 300 kilometers per hour, and you see a guy trying to race you with his Honda Civic, and you be like, seriously, biatch, and you try to like show your muscles a little bit, you rev a little bit more. You're gonna do that, right? Unless you are, like you're a nice guy or something, which is okay. There's some nice guys, but people don't like being challenged by people who are lesser fortunate than them. This is the reality of the world. So when someone smells like with pseudonym, smells like Aventus, people ask them, oh, you smell like that pineapple Aventus. Is that wearing Aventus? And imagine the guy goes like, yes. And you, who's the Aventus owner and holder, you're sitting there like, like you lie, you liar, you massive liar, you go into that zone. End of the day, this is the thing what I feel. Whatever you can afford, enjoy it. Whatever you have in your possession, enjoy it, because life itself is a gift. And fragrance game, sports, whatever you do not engage your life with it. Sometimes I make that mistake and I do regret it. It's always meant to be enjoyed from a little bit far. Stay a little bit away from people. Do not get too close. Do not get too impersonal with people. Then their words will hurt you, right? Enjoy your game as it is. Chill. Put a fragrance. Walk around. See what happens. So that's about it. That's all I want to discuss. Hopefully, you guys, some of you like this morning talks. Just do let others know what you feel about cheaper fragrances. Do you think they are useless, or people shouldn't buy them, or they should just enjoy what they want to? Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.